Here are some basics you need to know about the node structure in Fusion. Nodes are the boxes in Fusion that represent different actions you want to perform on your footage or composition. Each node has one specific job, and when you link them together, you create something like a flow chart that the composition runs through to create the final result. Each Fusion composition or clip you open in the Fusion tab has an input and an output node. Connecting these means you take an input and create an output, but at this stage, nothing really changes. The really fancy stuff happens in between these nodes, where you add effects that your input runs through in the direction of the arrow between the input and output. Most people will be connecting nodes from left to right, which will determine the order of the steps, but you can connect them in any direction you like, as long as it makes sense to you. If you just want to apply some effects to your input, you can link the nodes in series so that they are applied step by step. In many cases, the order does matter, as every new node adds its effect to the result of all the previous nodes. But what if you want to layer things, like adding text or masking? Well, Fusion doesn't have layers, but it does have the merge node, which is used to combine elements. There are three ways to combine things in Fusion. Something goes to the background, something stays in the foreground, and you can also use it for masking. These three inputs are color-coded in the merge node. Anything connected to the yellow input will be in the background, and anything connected to the green one stays in the foreground. When using the merge node, you can leave the foreground empty, but that won't really change anything. Think of it as an empty layer. However, if you link something only to the foreground and don't have any background, there won't be any output because there is nothing to layer on top. So you always need a background in Fusion, whether you are combining elements or painting. By the way, this is why the paint node has a background input. If you try to paint without a background, you won't see anything. So always make sure to choose the correct input for the foreground and background in order to stack your elements in the right order. You can do this by linking the input to the right color, or you can just link them somehow to the merge node and use Ctrl-T to swap them later.